So this is an ensemble movie. So you have a bunch of different parts to it that are directed by different directors, different writers worked on it, and it's just kind of a mess. My biggest problem with it is nothing seems to actually fit together. Like, the powers of our protagonist and our antagonist are just kind of all over the place. Nothing seems to really make any sense. So we've got our two main characters, and unfortunately, Paul and Gwen are the two that we're going to be stuck with for the most of this. Paul is a computer programmer who has a supercomputer type thing, and Gwen is an aerobics instructor, which I kind of wish this was more about that than, what it is. And they get sucked into Paul's computer, I think, or into like an alternate dimension, or possibly hell. It's never really explained. But they are here by the best goddamn thing in the entire movie. That is the big bad guy, whose name is Mestima. I love this character so much, and I kind of wish he was in it more than what he is, and Paul and Gwen were not in the movie as much. So it's pretty straightforward. We've got our hero, we got our villain, and we've got our damsel in distress, who kind of turns into a badass at the end, but at that point I was just so checked out of it I didn't really care. The one weird thing was, I'm just not sure what the bad guy is supposed to be. Maybe Paul's power glove can actually explain this to us a little bit better as to what the hell he actually is.
Mestima equals Beelzebub, Belial, Satan.
Okay, so I guess he's a version of Satan, kind of, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense once you get to the end of it. It's a very strange movie where nothing really makes any sense, and I don't think anything really matters in this. Anyway, regardless of whether or not Mestima is actually the devil, or he's just a devil, or a demon, or whatever, he just kind of starts being a dick, like you would expect a demon or a devil to do. He basically has Paul go through a bunch of different challenges because he thinks Paul has magic. I don't know. He turns Paul's computer into his power glove and tells him to use that to solve a bunch of challenges and pass a bunch of weird tests. I don't really remember how many he has, so let's just go with 6. It could be 5, but who cares? He just has to go through and do all these different things in order to, I guess, save Gwen. It's not really clear, and I seriously doubt he was going to be let go at the end of it. I really don't know what the hell happens in this. It just gets really stupid. During most of these, you don't really know what he has to do. It's just sort of a guessing game for Paul to figure out what steps he needs to go through in order to solve all these stupid things, or in order to get out of them alive. Sometimes he needs to fight something off. In other cases, he needs to save Gwen from something, like when he has to save her from the band Wasp. I don't know. Probably the cooler one, when he has to save Gwen, is when he needs to save her from a killer and he only has an hour to do it. And that's one that at least has a definitive end. In others, it's just sort of it stops, and he gets teleported back to wherever Mestima is, and you just kind of assume that he won because it goes on to the next thing. It's very strange. There is one very memorable line in the movie, and I honestly had heard it a few times before I ever saw this, and I thought the guy was pretty brilliant who came up with it. Now I think, Josh, if you ever see this, I don't know if you know where that line came from, but yeah, it's kind of funny hearing it now, so yeah, here it is.
In a future reality, I shall destroy you.
I reject your reality and I substitute my own.
So yeah, my friend Josh said this to me a few times, and I thought he came up with it off the top of his head. Now I know that he didn't. I probably should have typed it into Google to find out afterwards, but uh, back when Josh said it, I didn't really care enough to look up and see whether or not it was a movie quote. I do have to say, with Mestima being the best goddamn part of this movie, he definitely takes his time with kind of screwing with Paul. I don't really know why he's doing it, but I guess, he's been alive for roughly 1,000 years, or he's been a demon for roughly 1,000 years. So he obviously has plenty of time to do crazy shit like this. So this is one of the funnier parts to me because he just tries to get Paul to kind of give up and just quit the game. I guess he thought that maybe he was going to lose, or maybe he could get just Gwen's soul. I guess he's trying to get souls out of them. I don't really know. So he tries bribing Paul at first, and Paul kind of rejects that. And then he decides, hey, I'll just give him 3 ladies. That might work out. We'll just, give him 3 ladies, and, Mestima will keep Gwen. I have a feeling that because Gwen, is an aerobics teacher, she could probably just, pull her class and see if 1 or 2 of the ladies there would, want to have a 3-way with her and Paul. Or however many it adds up to. I just have a feeling that they could set this up regardless, and they don't really need Mestima to, materialize a couple of women. Also, who knows? Those women might have turned into demons. I mean, you're dealing with the devil here. Shit could go sideways in a hurry. There are 2 things that I just want to talk about, and that's the effects in this movie. The special effects are kind of hit or miss here. Like, whenever they need to generate something with a computer, it can look good, or it can look just kind of stupid. Sometimes it looks kind of stupid. I think the dragons here actually look pretty cool when they do that. The practical effects look really good in this. Like, the makeup and everything is just great. I think the puppets are pretty good, when they use those. And there's one scene that I'll show in just a little bit where they do like some stop motion stuff that looks pretty awesome. Even the sets look really good. It's just kind of a fun looking movie as long as you don't really care about the narrative. This is one of those where I could see you just turning it on like for a bad movie night or something like that and just watching it and laughing at what they're doing. It's not really a movie I would want to sit back and watch for like any other reason than to just have some friends around and be like, hey, look at this. It's kind of stupid, isn't it? But yeah, this is the part I thought it was really cool. I'm pretty sure this is stop motion the way they're doing it. But it just looks really awesome with this strange like rock monster that comes to life and chases after him. And then he uses his power glove to defeat it. It just looks really cool. But I think at the end of the day, Mestima just needs a little bit of therapy, and he just needs someone to talk to. So let's hear a little bit of what he has to say.
I remember when I was a lad. We found a cat. It was scavenging in an alley. We covered it in coal tar, except for the face and the eyes. And then we lit the tail. What a sight. I shall never forget it.
Okay, I think we made a mistake asking him to share some of his thoughts with us. Yeah, okay. This was probably a bad idea. Some weird things, though. When did this happen? Was this before he became a demon? Who were the other people that were there with him? And why the hell did nobody... Oh, I'm sorry. He's got some more to say about this story.
A howling torch streaking across a field. It turned and spun in a series of wild gyrations and leaps. And finally, into a twitching mass. Its insides burst forth in wet sputters. Its eyes bulged to the size and brilliance of agates.
Okay, I think we can kind of see why this dude became a demon, or at least why he's in, I'm guessing, hell. I hope he's in hell. At least that's just me. Yeah, it sounds like he's done this quite a few times. Okay, Mistima, just wrap your story up so we can move on to the end of this.
Animals can be such fun.
Okay, thank you for that, I guess. You weird thing. So yeah, that's gonna pretty much bring this to the end of all the weird challenges that Paul had to do. Now we get to the really stupid way that they decided to wrap this movie up. So after everything, after all the stupid challenges, after all the weird magic technology type things that they have to attack, Paul somehow manages to convince Satan to have a wrestling match and a fist fight. I mean, Paul even takes off his power glove, so obviously, his control should be a lot better here. And it ends with him choking Mistima and shoving him into a lake of fire. Or lava or something, I don't know. Mistima, uses some weird spell at the end to do something, I guess. I guess he makes, the ground less stable. I don't really understand what the hell happens. But anyway, he defeats Satan, and then he uses his power glove to, I guess, transport himself and Gwen back home. I don't know. I don't really get it. It's very strange. He's able to, I guess, kill Satan or a demon. I'm guessing he's just kind of a demon at this point. So he gets rid of him, goes back home, and that's kind of the end of it. I mean, their house is still kind of smoking and everything. I forgot to mention that. It really feels like somebody set fire to the building they were in. And they get back home, and then Gwen decides that, yeah, she wants to marry him. I have no earthly idea why she would want to marry this guy. Clearly, he's getting just transported to hell. Demons know about him, and just bad shit's gonna happen. So I don't know why she would want to stay married or get married to this guy. I don't know. I was just really glad when the credits started rolling. After all of that, I really hope to God that this couple stays together for a while. And I hope that no more demons suck them into their computer world or whatever the hell happened to them. But hopefully they get rid of that weird computer, because I think Cal did all of this just to set them up. This is such a bizarre movie. It would have been so much better if it had one narrative flowing through the whole thing, instead of having multiple people working on different parts of the story. I just don't get why they set this film up like that. It's very strange, and they had to have known it didn't make a whole lot of sense when they set this thing up. It just felt like none of the parts really fit. So he would have to go do a challenge, and it would just sort of stop. Like the movie would just give up on that plot point. So you never really knew if he completed what he had to do, but I guess it's kind of implied because he moved on to the next challenge. It was very strange. Usually when you have something like this, you have the character going through the steps to figure out the puzzle that he had to solve, or something like that. And here it's just kind of shit happens, and Paul has to use his power glove to fight back, or something like that. This is such a very strange movie. Anyway, guys, I'll see you all next time. I'm not sure what we're going to watch for the next episode, but, Hopefully it'll be better than this. Hey, let me know what you think in the comment section below, and definitely let me know what you think about Paul and his power glove. And who do you think would have actually won this fight? Paul with his power glove or Mistema with his weird superpowers? See you guys later, and have a great day.